here, and today we are going to be doing another Raid Shadow Legends video. This will be a guide video on Valkyrie from the Barbarian tribes. Let's see if we can find her in my spirit-based champion. And anyway, let's get into the guide. Right, so Valkyrie here, let's take a look at her skills. Right, on her A1, we've got Denigration. Attacks one enemy 2 times and decreases the turn meter by 10% on each hit if the target has any buffs. So obviously this is great again in the arena, can decrease turn meter, especially if you fight against those people with lots of buffs, you can decrease the turn meter quite a bit. The damage is based on attack and defense. I would personally nearly always stack defense on her. Why will become fairly evident in a minute, but she's a defensive based champion. A2, stand firm, attacks all enemies, places a shield buff on all allies for 3 turns and a counter attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. The value of shield and the damage inflicted are proportional to this champion's defense. This ability purely off of defense is one of the best in the game. Some will argue, don't get me wrong, there are certainly other contenders out there. Valkyrie for me was my second legendary that I pulled. My first was Suzerain Katon, who I still use today. Actually, he's not quite as bad as people say. He's actually my campaign farmer. He's not as fast as some of the others out there, but he still can farm quite reliably in 11 seconds for me. Anyway, this is not a video about him, so I'm just giving you a bit of history on my history with the character. Obviously, she's one of the 3 counter-attack champions in the game, and personally for me, I think she's the best. Some prefer Marta, but she is absolutely amazing. Now, if you're lucky enough, like I was, to pull a really early stage of your account, she will be purely game-changing, primarily because of this ability. This ability helps you do damage, it helps you take damage, it helps keep you in the fight. She will carry you through dungeons, she will be a staple in your clan boss for a good long time. I started using her in my clan boss team as soon as I got her. I still use her in my clan boss team today. If you've got her, if you pulled her, if that's why you're watching this video, congratulations, you've just pulled an amazing champion. Right, and let's crack on. So we've got Jealousy, her passive. This champion's turn meter will be increased by 10% each places above. Champions will need is decreased by 10% each for each buff they receive. Again, now this is more of an arena ability. I mean, it works in dungeons as well. In clan boss, it tends to actually be a negative as opposed to a positive, because it will throw out your speed tuning. So if you've got comps like I have, I'm running a double man eater comp. So for me, if she's on the affinity boss, then I'm in trouble, and I maybe have to look at swapping her out for somebody else, which is going to cost me damage because I'm not built for that at the moment. I'm fairly lucky in that the guild I'm in, clan I'm in, I managed to, without being on affinity, while the boss is on void all the time, which is great. Yeah, this ability, a pain in the clan boss, really clutch in the arena. This can help you really cut in on people. Obviously, you've got people boosting, throwing up speed buffs, throwing up block buffs, throwing up all sorts of buffs at the start of their thing. Most enemies, especially when you're fighting a defense, will automatically throw up buffs to start. So she'll come in, she'll increase her turn meter by 10% and decrease theirs by 10%, meaning that she can cut the queue and jump in. Absolutely brilliant. She's got this nice little aura for increased ally defense and faction crits by 33%. Do I wish it was all battle? So since you use her just about everywhere, it would certainly be more useful. But she is such an amazing champion that it doesn't really matter. And obviously, you will be using her in faction crits if you've got her. Because I've got her and some other champs, faction crits Barbarians is the only one I've currently beaten. But she is just an amazing champion. Okay, so let's have a look at what I've got mine geared up in. Now, again, my stats aren't crazy. I'm not an in-game player here. I have got some 6-star pieces on her. I don't even remember when I got these, to be honest. So we've got, and to be fair, my build is really lacking. There's a lot I've recently realised I need to change up with to try and improve. I haven't touched her in a long time. I left her to sort of stagnate, and that's something you never really want to be doing with your champions. Obviously, it doesn't matter when you pull them, if you pull them early. As you progress, as you get better gear, you want to, especially the champions you use regularly in lots of areas, you need to keep upgrading their gear and improving it. Otherwise, you'll suddenly be wondering why you're not progressing, why you're not doing well, and forgetting that your champions need to be upgraded is a big part of that. Right, so I've built her out with high-ish crit rate, but not max crit rate. She's got 101 accuracy. I could probably do with getting that a bit higher. The main reason I don't at the moment is I don't have an accuracy banner for her. I'm currently trying to farm one. Resistance, again, wouldn't mind that being a bit higher. Now, defense, this could be higher, obviously, but actually it'll be easier if we look at the total stats. Okay, so she's got 42,000 health. That's a respectable health pool. Attack, it's more what you can get. It's not that important, but it's still useful to have some on her because obviously it does affect one of her attacks to a degree. And then we've got the defense. Now I've built her up to nearly 4,800. I would like this to be higher, and I can certainly actually start working on that now. She is at 182 speed. It sounds a bit slow, but for me, the reason she's at that speed, although I use her in the arena, is because I also use her in Clan Boss, hence why I do want to remove her from my arena team and replace her. Purely because if I'm using her in arena, I want her going faster. Okay, so anyway, as you can see, I've got her in a speed set and a divine set. This is probably not the right way to go. It gives her a small heal, gives her a small shield, and it gives her some health. But obviously, defense is what you want for her, so you want to be changing those out for defensive based things or speed or whatever else is going to suit you better. Obviously, speed boots. I wouldn't actually mind getting her in a full defensive kit. I don't have her in. I just don't have the gear to do that, unfortunately. So some of it's like thrown on best pieces. So she's in a defense chest. She's in defense gloves, speed boots. If I could get her speed up to where I need it without the speed boots, I'd probably put her in defense boots and boost that defense again. The shield, again, the main reason I've got this shield is primarily because it was a 6-star and I wanted the high defense, and this is one of the areas where I realised I've gone wrong and I need to re-look at my substats and rebuild her, but it means having the silver to do it, which at the moment I don't. Being a low spender on this game, I do not have a lot of silver. I'm forever farming and spending and building up champs, and it's an area I need to concentrate on more to try and build up and re-gear some of my champions and improve on them. Artifacts, now obviously a defensive banner is good for her. Her turn meter decrease and her turn meter increase probably reliant because you're affecting other players with the ability. It is more than likely reliant on accuracy, so I would personally prefer that I get her accuracy up. So that's something I want to put in her build. I want to get her accuracy up. I want to get her using it. I mean, it depends where you use it. If you're just using it in Clan Boss, then the accuracy is not so important. If you're going to be using her in Arena and in Dungeons, and you want her using that turn meter control, accuracy is going to be important. So because I do use her in Arena, and even when I replace her in my main Arena team, I'm still going to be using her 3v3. Then we need to look at the accuracy to make full use of her. I've got a defense neck on her. You could argue going crit damage, but I've gone defense with crit damage substat. Again, these stats aren't brilliant. This gear is not up to par. I could easily change it and will do so fairly soon. Even something as simple as this, you've got some accuracy in there, crit damage. I would definitely prefer that as a defense percentage as opposed to a flat defensive stat. But it might be worthwhile to see what you get underneath that. That's a HP one, so we wouldn't want to use that. And again, so you can see why I'm currently, could do better, but not by with the gear I have. I need to do some farming to improve on it. Again, being a defensive based champion, you're going to want to go defense. You're going to want to go defense substats like I have. HP percentage, again, you want us being tanky, you want us surviving. It is going to help her out. If you can get an attack percentage substat as well, obviously it's going to help that one ability that scales with attack, so it's worth looking into. Okay, so anyway, we've looked at her build, we've looked at her skills, let's have a look at her masteries. Now I've gone for a fairly standard sort of clan boss setup here. So I've gone for offense and defense. Obviously you go crit rate, into crit damage, into straight down the standard hit tree for War Master. Again, with all these guides and the masteries, this is a guide only. Do not copy it blindly. Always look at where you're going to be using the champion, what you're going to be using the champion for, what gear you've got on them, whether or not they're booked is going to be a factor on occasion. But this is what I've done. It's certainly not a bad build. Then on the defensive side of things, we've gone for defense. Obviously, this is a defensive based champion. You want to get that defense up. We've gone for decrease the damage received on AoE. Again, this helps in the clan boss and in the arena. There's a 50% chance to remove one random debuff when they lose 20% of their max HP. Down into reduces damage this champion receives from a specific enemy by 0.75%. Again, all about helping her keep alive. And then we've gone into the two counter attack abilities again. One of these obviously can help with the clan boss and put out some extra damage there. The other one, because the clan boss is not putting freeze, fear, and all that, although it can work actually when the clan boss does a stun possibly. So again, this is all about getting extra turns, getting extra hits in, cycling your abilities around, getting back to that shield of hers, getting the counter attack up, keep it going that way. So anyway, now that we've taken a look at who she is, what she's got, how I've built her, let's take her into the arena. You know what? Actually, no. She is, let's face it, one of the best clan boss champions in the game. So let's go for a clan boss run just to show you what she can do. So let's give it a go. This is going to take a bit of a setup, but basically what we've got is Valkyrie, Razin in there for his decreased defense, and we can throw some banshee for a poison. She pairs really nicely with Valkyrie because she puts out that poison sensitivity debuff, and then when she's counter attacking, she's hitting with her A1 and she's getting all those poisons up there. Then obviously I've gone for the double man-eater route. I'm still working on these, still improving their stats and their damage. The same goes for all of this team, but this isn't a guide video on the double man-eater clan boss run, so we're going to mainly skip through this very quickly. In fact, we won't. Yeah, no, we'll show you what it can do. I mean, it's certainly worth that. I'm going to probably cut this shortly after it starts. This is annoying. I wish this would start with the auto off. The amount of keys I've lost because I've lost attention for 2 seconds and come back, and because this has to be done in a very specific way. One. So now we're going to put Valkyrie's shield up. Now look at that shield, big chunky shield, counter attack on everybody. Let's go for Razin, decreased defense and weaken out there. Perfect timing with this, with the counter attack being up, with the poison sensitivity out. Boss gives a little whack, and in we go. Smack, smack. Poisons up. Smack, smack. Smack. Oh, we didn't want that decreased attack. Obviously, normally in a normal setup, you do want decreased attack, but on the double man-eater unkillable, decreased attack just takes up useful space. Unfortunately, I'm not quite getting the poisons and abilities I'd like up there anyway. I'm thinking of swapping in Septimus for Valkyrie and seeing where that helps me. I don't have a Vizier, unfortunately. I really wish I did. Obviously, if I had somebody like a Dracomorph, that would be absolutely brilliant. He would really help with this massively. There's a bit of setup with this man-eater comp. I'm not running you through it because this isn't the guide video for that. Other people out there have done that already. I just want to show what she can do on sort of mid-game to late mid-game account. And I think we'll probably cut it there anyway, so you don't have to sit and watch all of this. Okay, so here we go. A nice 25.49 million damage dealt. Obviously, one of my man eaters did a whole hell of a lot more than the other one. Little things like that are what's stopping me from getting to Ultra Nightmare. Valkyrie's done a fairly respectable nearly 4 million damage. Obviously, Frozen Man, she's the champion here. We all know poisons are the best thing for Clan Boss, that's why she's in there. Razen's done a fairly respectable number. Okay, so that's her in the Clan Boss. And let's go take a look at her. No, we'll do a couple of dungeons with her actually. Okay. So. So look, am I done 20? To be honest, for me, Scylla the Drax is what makes this team work. To the boss, because she does the old stuns and obviously picks up anybody that falls down. We'll give it a try. We'll see how this goes. Obviously, I wasn't quite thinking. It's a shame that when you change your team for any level, it changes them for later ones, because obviously my last guide video, I said I didn't want to mess up my Dungeon 20 run. And then I go and change it for a lower one and do anyway, as it so happens. Okay. So as you see, we've got our counter attacks up, we've got our decreased defense and decreased attack down out there. Obviously, this isn't as fast as it could be. This isn't a speed team. But to be fair, this was pretty much the team I was running, and it was working. And this is the team I think I first beat it with. And again, that was down to Valkyrie at the time. I didn't even have some of the ranks back then. So she is cut, she is brilliant, and yes, it does work. But the problem is it's more prone to failure, and it takes a lot longer, something like 8-9 minutes. And you can see why. It really takes a long time to get these things down. I mean, bearing in mind these are blue, Spirit, Magic even. We'll get there in the end. Forgive a new YouTuber his fumbling words. So we've got Sinesha down here. She's built to do damage. She's not built as well as the top end build would have her. But you know, she's got a very respectable 200 something crit damage, nearly 100% crit rate, and she's the strong affinity here. So, you know, she should be doing really good damage, but these are quite defensive champions, and even with the decreased defense and all the rest of it, it's still not enough to take them down. I can't tell you why it works so much quicker with Syl. Partially, I guess, because of the stuns and getting out there and stopping them from taking turns and helping me get them down. But as you can see, we are getting them down. Now, what we'll probably do here, because this will probably work, if not, we'll show you that anyway. But this is going to take a little bit of time. So at this point, we are going to speed the video along or cut to the end. Okay, so here we have it. This run was done in 5 minutes and 48 seconds. Not too bad. Anyway, so that was her in the Dragon 20, which shows you she can really help. So that was her in Dragon 20. I'm not going to take you through every single dungeon. Can she do them? Yes. My spider runs aren't the best. Ice Golems, again, you know, I've done stage 20 on that. I've done stage 20 on Fire Knight. Can she help you in the Fire Knight? Yes, she certainly can. So can she help you everywhere? Oh yeah, she definitely can. I mean, you know, she's a great dungeon carry. That's what she does. She will help you everywhere and anywhere. She is still an absolutely amazing champion. You pull her, you're gonna love her. I know I certainly did. Done a dungeon, we've done Clan Boss. let's just show you what she can do in the arena. Right. Now I have to be careful in the arena because obviously we've got like these blender comps and things like that. Similar sort of player powers, I'll show you what I can do. This is the team I'm currently running. My flex spots tend to be these two, depending on whether or not I want the CC versus the damage. Obviously here we've got two blues and neutrals, so she's going to do fine here. So this is what we'll run. Oh, I hope they get these servers fixed soon because this is just an absolute nightmare trying to load into battles. It's taking forever. Right, so we are going to go with our lockout. I did say, although she is a current staple in my arena team and in my tag team arena team, I'm looking at swapping her out for Warlord soon, just because I want to prioritise her for clan boss, and therefore she's not optimised for the arena, and I really want a champion that is optimised. But bearing in mind, I've been playing a fair old while, and she's still in my team. There we go. Some big hits out. Get some stuns off, hopefully. Alright, again, alright, it went to my turn, so please explain to me why the stun just washes off there. I keep having this happening. Is that something I'm missing, or is it, the way it's supposed to be? Let's do that, and we can get a bit of healing. Decrease the turn a bit. Thank you. She's probably going to revive any second now, which is going to be annoying. Let's hope we can get a stun off. Turn meter. Let's get a big hit in there and another hit in there. Okay, and that's a win. So again, you can see the benefit there of Valkyrie. She brings the shield, she controls the turn meter, and the counter attack pairs rather nicely with the likes of Sinesha. You put an AoE champion, when they're getting counter hit, they're going to hit everybody on the enemy team. It's kind of like using a blender comp in a way. I mean, you imagine rather than a blender, or even with a blender champion, if you're not running the speed lead, you've got Valkyrie in there as well. You can be doing multi attacks with two AoE champions. You can bring in, and then on the attack, you're going to do even more. So even if you don't hit them on the first one, if you manage to get Valkyrie to get her shields up and a counter attack up, and they're going to come at you, then they're going to be able. You're just going to hit them back again with the double attack. So absolutely brilliant. Let's give this one a try. I might be able to beat this, but when their team power is that much higher than mine, and they've got a speed lead, there's a good chance they've maybe got high resist or whatever. And you know what? We'll give it a try. We'll see how it goes. There's no negative affinity issues here. I mean, obviously the Valkyrie, but Valkyrie's so strong, negative affinity really worries me with her. I don't even consider it. I just bring her in pretty much every match, more or less, because she is that strong, that tough. She can take the hits, and it's her abilities that she's in there for, not her damage. And because her main ability is a buff rather than a debuff, it doesn't matter, you're not facing weak hits as an issue. Right, so let's go and get some stuns out. Great, now we've got 4 stuns out there, as you can see, so let's get our shields out there, do some damage. Skull Crown done. Submission very close to being done, in fact most of the team close to being done. Obviously Skull Crown comes back because of Sinesha being on the team. Let's try her again actually. No, obviously we don't want her going. Try and get her again because she's probably the one who's who's going to do the most damage to us at this point. So high health. Obviously, they pair quite nicely together. They pair quite nicely together because she's going to do double hits when you're over 50%. She does double hits when you're below 50%. Because I'm above Skull Crown's the one I'm worried about at the moment. Now, I'm not too bothered here. Yeah, she managed to hit hard and she's taking down. Ooh, blimey. Okay. Maybe we were getting blasé a little too quick there. Let's get Celestia back up. One in there for the damage. No, shield's not ready. Okay, let's do some damage on Celestia. I did say that I was a bit worried about going against this team with them being so much higher than me. Obviously, they've got the stats that I don't. That's not to say I'll definitely lose. And if I don't, it's going to be the synergy between these two. And they do pair brilliantly together, both being defensive champions. They can both take a lot of hits. And although she's not built for damage, as you saw on my build earlier, she still does do quite a bit of damage. Alright, it's not huge amounts in one go. She's not one-shotting anybody by any stretch of the imagination, but she's really chipping away at people. And obviously, with this coming around every now and then, you get these double big shields again, that keeps you going. It also means that you're coming back at the enemy that's hitting you. And bang, she just killed herself. See, I mean, that more than anything just shows you higher team than me. It's a blended comp. They're designed to take people down. They went first, and they still lost, and they've got a higher team power. And that is mainly due to Valkyrie there being so tough on her big shields and the counter attack. Counter attack is such a brilliant move in this game. I kind of like personally the fact that it's a little bit rare. If everybody has it, it gets a bit annoying. I'm sure all of you out there who want a counter attack champion desperately are crying out for one and saying, no, we need more champions. And don't get me wrong, a couple more in the pool probably would be a good idea, but you don't want too many having it because then it loses its rarity and therefore it's not going to be as beneficial. I mean, it's still going to be somewhat beneficial in certain areas of the game, but it's still going to lose its stat. So anyway, we've done a couple of fights in the arena that shows you where she sits there and how well she can do and how she can take on teams that are faster and stronger and hit hard. And she is just a brilliant champ, Anyway, I'm IceMan. This was a guide video for Raid Shadow Legends on Valkyrie. Hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.